Have you ever stopped to think about how drastically smartphones have changed our lives? I bet some of you feel lost and alone without yours, right? We've come a long way from clunky bricks to sleek, powerful pocket computers. But which devices really shook things up? There are the ones we all use. Some of you will even disagree. Today, I'm revealing the top 5 most revolutionary smartphones of all time. The ones that broke the mold, defied expectations, and completely changed the game. Get ready to have your mind blown. Number 5. Nokia 3310, 2000. Wow, where do I even begin with the Nokia 3310? This phone, my friends, was a beast. Remember back in 2000 when phones were practically indestructible? Well, the 3310 was the king of that era. You could drop this thing from a building, and I swear, it'd probably just bounce back, maybe with a tiny scratch. I even saw a friend drive with his car over it once, picking it up with only minor issues. Now, it's not something to do, but I tell you, if you are the kind of person who's always on the go, and sometimes a little bit clumsy, this beauty was it. That was your best friend. We're talking about real-world resilience here, folks. But it wasn't just about toughness. Oh no. The 3310 had a secret weapon, Snake 2. Holy moly, that game was addictive. Forget Candy Crush. Snake 2 was the ultimate time waster. We all spent hours hunched over those tiny screens, trying to beat our high scores. And the battery life! You could play Snake 2 for like days on a single charge. What else is cool? The possibility to customize it with the Express-on covers, the cool ringtones composer. The phone was really revolutionary. Want to get a blast from the past? There is a bunch of good, new Nokia 3310 on the market. The phone, it's almost as a new brand. So go for it, I bought mine at eBay. And let's not forget the sheer simplicity of it. No fancy apps, no internet browsing, just good old-fashioned calling and texting. It did what it was supposed to do, and it did it well. It was a phone, a reliable communication tool, not a pocket-sized computer trying to be everything at once. Honestly, sometimes I miss that simplicity. Today, we're bombarded with notifications and updates. Back then, it was just you, your phone, and the people you wanted to connect with. If you're looking for a digital detox but still need to stay connected, seriously consider finding a used 3310. It might just change your perspective. Or use it like me, a second option, when I don't want to be bothered by notifications. Number 4. Motorola Razr V3, 2004. Alright, picture this. 2004. Flip phones were the thing, and the Motorola Razr V3. Forget about it, it was the epitome of cool. This wasn't just a phone, it was a fashion statement. I remember seeing it for the first time and thinking, wow, I need that. It was so slim, so sleek, so futuristic. The satisfying snap when you flipped it open or closed. Pure magic. Everyone wanted a Razr. Celebrities had them, business folks, everyone. If you had this, you were automatically on another level. In other words, Razr was like the iPhone of its day in terms of sheer desirability. It's really something to think about. And it wasn't all just looks, though the design was a huge part of its appeal. The Razr V3 had a pretty decent camera for its time, and the external display was super handy for checking the time and seeing who was calling without even opening the phone. The keypad, with its electroluminescent backlight, looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. Remember using T9 predictive text? It was the future. The interface was intuitive and user-friendly. This made the experience with the Razr V3 better in any situation. For example, my mom started using a phone for the first time in her life with this model. That's a strong point. But let's be real, the main reason we all loved the Razr was that feeling of sheer coolness it gave you. It was like holding a piece of the future in your hand. It redefined what a phone could be, moving away from chunky bricks to something incredibly stylish and pocketable. It showed the world that phones could be more than just functional. They could be objects of desire. You can still find some of these beauties in online marketplaces. If you're a collector, or just want to experience a bit of that mid-2000s magic, it's totally worth checking out. Number 3. HTC Dream, 2008. Folks, let's talk about a game changer, the HTC Dream, also known as the T-Mobile G1 in some places. This was 2008, and this bad boy was the first commercially available device to run on Android. You heard that right. the granddaddy of all those Android phones you see everywhere today. Now, it might look a bit clunky by today's standards, with its slide-out keyboard and trackball, but trust me, this was revolutionary. I remember the excitement surrounding its release. It was like holding a tiny, powerful computer in your hand. It was a new era of mobile phones. It's pretty important to remember that this phone showed the real beginning of a journey. The HTC Dream brought the open source world to mobile phones. This meant a whole new level of customization and flexibility. Suddenly, you weren't locked into a single ecosystem. You could tinker, you could explore, you could download apps from outside a single tightly controlled store. Though the Android market, later Google Play, was there too. This openness was a breath of fresh air. Want to try out a new keyboard app? Go for it! Want to sideload an app from a developer's website? No problem. This level of freedom was unheard of at the time. It changed everything, and let's not forget the physical keyboard. Sure, touchscreens were becoming a thing, but having those tactile keys was awesome for typing out emails and messages. It was a bridge between the old and the new. The Dream also had a dedicated search button, making it super easy to find information online. It really was a glimpse into the future of mobile computing. If you're a tech enthusiast, finding a working HTC Dream is like finding a piece of history. It's a reminder of how far we've come and a testament to the power of open source. It's definitely something to remember. Number 2. Samsung Galaxy Note. Alright, let's jump to 2011 and the Samsung Galaxy Note. Now, when this phone first came out, people were like, what is that? It's huge! And yeah, it was big, especially compared to other phones at the time. But Samsung had a vision, and boy, did it pay off. The Note basically created the phablet category, a phone that was also a tablet. I remember thinking it was almost comically large. But then I used one, and I was hooked. It was the start of a whole new way to interact with our mobile devices. Its screen was really ahead of its time. The key to the Note's success? The S Pen stylus. This wasn't just some flimsy plastic stick. It was a pressure-sensitive, precise tool that opened up a whole new world of possibilities. You could take notes, sketch, annotate documents, and even navigate the interface with greater accuracy than your finger could manage. It was like having a tiny digital notepad with you all the time. I know artists who use the Note for quick sketches on the go. It was amazing for productivity and creativity. For instance, I used the S Pen for highlighting important points in documents, which made my work much more efficient. And that big screen. It was a game changer for watching videos, browsing the web, and even playing games. Suddenly, everything felt more immersive. Samsung took a gamble with the Note, pushing the boundaries of what people thought a phone should be. And it worked. They proved that there was a market for larger screens and stylus input. The Note series continues to be popular today, and it all started with this bold, innovative device. If you're a power user who values productivity and a large display, the original Galaxy Note is a fascinating piece of tech history. Number 1. iPhone. We've reached the big one, the original iPhone, released in 2007. This is the phone that arguably changed everything. Before the iPhone, smartphones were clunky, complicated, and mostly for business folks. Steve Jobs and Apple came along and said, nope, we're going to make a phone that's elegant, intuitive, and for everyone. And they did. I remember seeing the launch event and being absolutely blown away. It was like something out of science fiction. It was the beginning of mobile phones, we know them. Touch, fast, and smart. Jobs was like the Michelangelo of tech. The iPhone's multi-touch display was revolutionary. No more stylus, no more tiny buttons, just your fingers interacting directly with the screen. Pinch to zoom, swipe to scroll. It was magical. And the user interface, so clean, so simple, so friendly. It made using a smartphone accessible to everyone, not just tech geeks. My grandma, who had never touched a computer in her life, could pick up an iPhone and start using it. That's the power of good design. And let's not forget the App Store, which launched a year later. Suddenly, your phone could do anything. Games, productivity tools, social media. It was a whole new world of possibilities. The iPhone didn't just change the phone industry. If you're a tech enthusiast, owning an original iPhone is like owning a piece of history. It's a reminder of how one device can truly change the world. And the iPhone made it possible. In 2007, Apple was valued at $78 billion. Today, more than 17 years later, it is worth around $3 billion. And the iPhone accounts for around 50% of Apple's total revenue year after year. So, there you have it. 5 phones that truly revolutionized the mobile world. What do you think? Did I miss any? Which of these phones had the biggest impact on your life? Let me know in the comments. I'm dying to hear your thoughts. And more importantly, are you ready to embrace the lessons from these groundbreaking devices? Are you going to be a passive consumer? Or are you going to use technology to create, innovate, and change the world? The choice is yours.